Hey Brendan, trying to get the comment posted. Typical, typical stuff. All right, let's see how fast I could be with getting this going today. Happy Monday. It is Monday. I usually don't do Mondays, but it's Monday. I'm happy I'm here to start the week off with you all. Um, yeah, I'm pinning my comment and we'll get started. Hey. So as I'm typing my comment, so today I'm giving a COVID-19 update. Um, some good news, some not so good news. Well, it depends on how you look at it. But I want to share an update with you all, kind of give you some insight that I do have about other things that's going on as far as like opening up and what's happening with schools and things like that. And so, can't wait to share that. I don't know. I feel like I'm the slowest typer when I'm trying to manually get this thing posted. All right. And I'm getting a cramp in my neck by stretching again. All right, TMI. So, pins should be posted. We are still available for free HIV and STI testing. You can give us a call, and that was supposed to be called at 202-745-7000 or email appointments at Whitman-Walker.org. Again, I am giving an update today specifically about COVID-19. I'm focusing on the DMV area, so DC, Maryland, Virginia, but I will share some new update numbers as far as like nationally. So first up, I am David Wilson. If you have not seen me on here before, I am an influencer with Whitman-Walker Health. I'm part of the community engagement team, and this is what we do here. We come on here and we try to keep you engaged and share all the information that we have available. My pronouns are he, him, his. And yeah, again, I want to provide a COVID-19 update about the pandemic. It has been a little bit of time since I've been on here to update you all about COVID. And so I just want to make sure that I provide you some general updates. Thankfully, cases and hospitalizations and death rates have all plummeted and have even plateaued. So that is great news. The vaccination rate, though, has also plateaued, but in a different way. Public health officials have been hoping that the vaccination rate will be much higher than it is today. And for that reason, I want to let you know about some walk-up locations in DC. There are about a dozen of different walk-up locations that you can just show up and get your vaccination. I will also touch on things like, what DC schools are doing about the upcoming school year and how, if you've already been vaccinated, if you lose your vaccination card, how you could get a replacement and what you can do there. I know that has been a concern for a lot of the folks. Hold on to this little piece of paper and making sure you have that is not the most convenient thing to do. So I'll share information about that as well. And if you have any questions and if I have the answers, I'll be sure to respond in the comments. So feel free to drop your questions in the comments. So as of yesterday, June 13th, 52% of the U.S. population have received at least one dose of some sort of the COVID-19 vaccine. So that could be the Pfizer, the Moderna, or the other one. I missed it, the J&J. So that means they've received at least one dose. Now, 43% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated as of yesterday. Case numbers in the United States have fallen to the lowest point that we've seen since testing has become widely available. And there have also been fewer deaths that are being reported each day. And these numbers are the lowest that we've seen since March 2020, which was the point at which the pandemic was declared. So we finally crossed that threshold where there are less deaths that were in hospitalizations that were being reported at the onset of the pandemic. Obviously, that's really good news. However, the pace of vaccinations have slowed considerably in recent weeks. About 1.1 million doses are being administered each day, and that is down from a peak of more than 3.3 million doses that were being administered in mid-April. So vaccination rates are, I shouldn't say extremely, but especially low in the South. So if you have family members in the South, definitely encourage them to get the vaccine. We're seeing less folks getting vaccinated in those southern states. About 64% of adults have received at least one shot. Now, I think this was back on May 4th. President Biden actually set a goal that he would like to reach 70% of the U.S. population that would have received at least one dose of the vaccine by July 4th. So that was the goal. In D.C., we are averaging right now only 2 new cases per 100,000 folks. So that is actually a decrease of 42% of what we've seen in the last 14 days. That's a positive thing. So we're seeing less cases, 42% less cases than we were 2 weeks ago. That's a good thing. In DC, 69% of folks that are 18 and over have received at least one dose of the vaccine, and 58% of folks who are 18 and over are fully vaccinated. So those are actually pretty good numbers for the DC area. So that's great news that DC is actually on target to meet the president's goal of having 70% of its population to have received at least one dose of the vaccine. And more good news is that Maryland and Virginia is also on target to meet that goal. Now, unfortunately, the entirety of the country is not on schedule. We have some states like Wyoming, Alabama, Mississippi, and then you have the U.S. Virgin Islands that all have less than 50% of its adult population that have received one dose of the vaccine. So if you know or have family, friends in those areas, definitely encourage them to go out and get the vaccine. We're still shooting for that July 4th target as set by President Biden. So definitely encourage your family and friends to get the vaccine. Now, I do want to bring to like a more of a social issue that we're hearing about, particularly in DC. So in DC, there is a growing racial gap in terms of coronavirus infections. The share of new infections are involving Black people, and it has spiked sharply in the city, and it started around mid-April. When the vaccine became widely available to DC residents, we actually saw a spike in the cases in Black folk. So the share of cases involving white people, meanwhile, has fallen below 10% compared to 33% of cases in December. So we've seen a huge drop in white people in the rate of coronavirus cases. Similar trends have also been seen in other places in the country. So both Kentucky and Tennessee are experiencing this same disparity in terms of the racial gap and who's getting the vaccine and who's reporting more, or what population is reporting more cases. The district's population is about 45% Black and about 42.5% white. That is according to Census Bureau estimates. Now, white residents have been significantly more likely to get vaccinated due to higher rates of both hesitancy and access issues for Black Washingtonians, where that rate is much lower in the Black community. So I would like to say to my fellow Black Washingtonians, please get your vaccine. It's extremely important because you don't want to put your community at risk or have this virus literally staying around longer than it needs to. So please, if you can and you're willing, get your vaccination. You can get that vaccine at Whitman-Walker, but I'll also you can call us at the number pinned below if you're interested in getting that vaccine at Whitman-Walker. But most importantly, I'm going to share more information where you can literally walk up and get that vaccine on site. So you're probably wondering, I've heard all this stuff about who's eligible. So pretty much anyone in the United States, we actually reached a pretty huge milestone that anyone over the age of 12 is eligible to receive a coronavirus vaccine. So that is across any state. If you're over the age of 12, it is approved that you are eligible to get that vaccine. And if you want to find a location closest to you, you can visit vaccine.gov, put in your zip code, and they'll actually give you locations that are closest to you. Now, like I mentioned earlier, DC has walk-up sites available. These walk-up sites are in addition to the pharmacies and the clinics and the healthcare providers that are already delivering the vaccine. So we're providing more resources to you so that you could have a more convenient experience to get your vaccine. So now we have these walk-up appointments. And also, if you're unable to leave home, there is a number that you can call. And now I want to say this, so catch it. 1-855-363-0333. If you call that number, they'll come to you and administer vaccine wherever you are. So call 855-363-0333. Now, there are multiple walk-up sites, and so I want to name off those sites and their hours so that you could go check them out if that is the most convenient method for you. So, if you are familiar with Arena Stage, I know I've been there for quite a few parties, but they are acting as a walk-up site. Arena Stage is actually located at 1101 6th Street Southwest. You can go there between Thursday and Sunday, and their hours are 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then they take a lunch break, and then they're back at 1 p.m., and then they close at 5 p.m. That's Thursday through Sunday at Arena Stage. June 3rd through 6th, they're offering the Pfizer vaccine, if that's what you're interested in. And for the rest of the month of June, they're offering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And then you have Rise Demonstration Center. I've never been there, but they are located at 2730 Martin Luther King Jr. Southeast. They are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and they are administering the Pfizer and the Johnson & Johnson at 2 different times this month. So you can go check them out. Then you have University of DC, which is located at 4225 Connecticut Avenue Northwest. They're administering the vaccine Wednesdays and Thursdays, and they are giving out the Moderna, and that is from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. June 2nd, 3rd, 9th, 10th, 16th, 17th, 23rd, and 24th. And you can also go to get that Pfizer vaccine Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then they have Saturday and Sunday hours from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and that they're giving out the Pfizer vaccine. And again, 12 and older, you can get that. Then you have the Convention Center, which is located between 7th and 9th Street on L Northwest. They're giving out the Johnson & Johnson, and their hours are Wednesdays through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Ida B. Wells Middle School, 405 Sheridan Street Northwest, and they have the Pfizer vaccine. That is Monday, and then Thursday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1, and then 2 to 7. Easton High School, located at 1700 East Capitol Street Northeast, Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and they are available Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And they are giving that Johnson & Johnson at the beginning of the month, and then the Pfizer in the middle of the month, and then they're following up with the Johnson & Johnson at the end of the month. And these are all June dates. And then you have Luke C. Moore High School, which is at 101 Monroe Street Northeast. So if you're in that Brooklyn area, that's probably the perfect place for you to go. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. on, Monday through Thursday. I said that. And they're giving out Pfizer at the beginning of the month, and then towards the end of the month, they'll have the J&J vaccine. Anacostia High School, if that's most convenient, 1601 16th Street Southeast. And they are only having a couple of days. So June 30th, July 1st, and then the 5th through the 8th, you can get that. Now, there are several hospital sites that are open to DC residents 12 and older. You have Howard University Hospital. Both the Newman Adams building and the pediatric clinic are administering the vaccine. You can walk up at Newman Adams building, anyone 18 and over, between 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then the pediatric clinic, you have to pre-register, but they're available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 2:30 p.m. And then you have Children's Hospital. They're doing walk-ups. MedStar Georgetown Hospital, MedStar Washington Hospital Center, and then Kaiser Permanente Capitol Hill Medical Center, Mary Center, and then Metros Health. All of these places are giving vaccines either Tuesday or Thursday or Monday through Friday. If you are interested in any of this information, you could also visit vaccinate.dc.gov, and all this information is available on the site. Now, I told you that I had a little bit of information to share about what you can do if you lose your vaccination card. I almost lost mine in the airport recently. I was traveling. Luckily, someone picked it up and just yelled out my name in the middle of the airport, and I was able to retrieve my vaccination card. So I was lucky. I still have it. But if you are one of the folks who have lost their vaccine card or just interested in sharing the knowledge about what to do if you do lose it, if you live in D.C., some good news is that the district's health department has developed a web portal that gives residents online access to their COVID-19 vaccination records. This is called DC My IR, and the IR stands for immunization records. So this was developed between the DC Department of Health and Human Services as well as the CDC. So you can register online, and there are step-by-step instructions available. Again, that's DC My IR as an immunization record. Now in Maryland, those who live in Maryland should contact their vaccination provider to receive a replacement COVID-19 vaccine card. Now, Maryland also offers an online vaccination records portal through Maryland's My IR. Residents can access their records and their children's records through My IR, and in order to get access to that information, you have to make sure you have a couple things available. You need their first and last name, date of birth, the gender, email address, and address and telephone phone number to retrieve the vaccination record. Now, Virginia's process is a little bit different. We've kind of learned that about Virginia recently. They always doing their own thing. Virginia residents, if you misplace your vaccination card, you have to email someone, and it is the Virginia Immunization Information System Help Desk. And you can email them at vaccinerecord@vdh.virginia.gov. Again, that's vaccinerecord@vdh.virginia.gov. Or you can call their help desk at 866-375-9795, and you can request a copy of your card. The help desk office hours are between 8:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m., and they say give them a 24 to 48 hour period to respond to you. All right, I said a lot there, but I also mentioned that I was going to tell you all about what is coming for the upcoming school year. So DCPS, DC Public Schools, made an announcement, maybe it was last week, about their plans to open up for the fall. And so some of the information they shared is that, DC Public Schools will require face masks for students, staffs, and visitors. And they plan to keep up with social distancing requirements for the next school year. DCPS schools also will reopen for in-person learning on August 30th. So that is the plan as of right now. Now, most students will eat meals in-school cafeterias while being socially distanced, except pre-K and kindergarten students who will eat in their classrooms. Now, student staff will undergo daily health screenings, but they will not be taking temperatures. So that's one thing to note. PPE, personal protective equipment, will be provided. The school will also try to limit contact between different cohorts of students. Now, later this summer, families, community members, and whoever else is interested in seeing the protocols they put in place, you will be able to walk through the schools and see these safety improvements actually be in place. And they have been extremely excited about a new area filtration system that they will have in place. So you can even ask about the state-of-the-art HEPA filters that they put in place. For more information about all of this stuff, as far as like schools reopening in DC, you can visit dcpsreopenstrong.com for more information. As for the students getting vaccinated, obviously vaccinations are encouraged, but they will not be required for eligible children age 12 or older. So all other vaccinations still have to be up to date for your children. So just keep that in mind. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comments. That is my update for today. Hey, Lando, I didn't even see you join. I don't know if you're still here. I don't see any questions yet. All right, so before I close today, I do want to say a couple things. I want to remind you that Whitman-Walker is still open for free HIV and STI testing. That is by appointment at our Liz location in Northwest DC and our Max Robinson Center location in Southeast DC. To make an appointment, you can call us at 202-797-4439. I also want to remind you all that, yes, it's still a pandemic. People are getting vaccinated. However, if you have not and you want to get vaccinated, there are all of the sites that I mentioned that you could walk up to throughout Washington, D.C., where you do not need an appointment and you can just go and get your vaccine. If you want to get tested or vaccinated for COVID-19 at Whitman-Walker Health, again, you can call 202-207-2480, or you can email us at appointments@whitmanwalker.org to schedule an appointment. We'll be registering people for the vaccine at our outreach events as well. So if you see us at one of those, feel free to come up and tell us that you want to be vaccinated and we'll get you on the schedule. If you have already gotten vaccinated, congratulations. Welcome to the club. The CDC has given the okay to relax some of your mask wearing habits and return to some of those pre-pandemic activities that you haven't been able to do in a while. It is totally understandable if you still want to wear your mask. Just remember that, the vaccine isn't 100% effective, and there are no real protocols in place to actually verify that folks around you are vaccinated. And you've also probably got used to wearing your mask anyway, so if you want to keep it on if that makes you feel comfortable. If you haven't been vaccinated, please visit the CDC guidelines for wearing your mask, quarantining, social distancing, and everything else, because it's still very important that you get the vaccine. But since you haven't, you still have to take those COVID precautionary measures for all of the people around you, and be mindful of wearing your mask and keeping your distance, especially if you do not know if the person has been vaccinated or not. It is still up to all of us to stop the spread of COVID-19. That is all I have for you all today. I do want to remind you all that I will be here sharing more information. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Whitman-Walker. You can also follow us at Real Talk DC to stay up to date on all things Whitman-Walker Health. Thank you for your time today, and I'll see you next week.